We've got a lot to talk about when it comes to oil this morning. Have you looked at the contract? We're actually heating up right now. We're at $49.41 right now. That's a 3% jump on oil. Now, what's going on with traders? Are they optimistic that talks in Beijing can resolve this trade war between the U.S. and China? That pushing a barrel of crude closer to 50 a barrel. Maybe supply cuts by major producers, also maybe boosting the commodity. Where are we at in oil? Let's bring in Flynn of the Price Futures Group to discuss it. And, you know, it's interesting because we just had Goldman Sachs. They downgraded their forecast for Brent. Societe Generale is actually also saying WTI is at 57. So those forecasts are coming down. But what is the real story behind the move we're seeing today?
You know, I think it's about optimism about the global economy and that the price of oil probably priced in Armageddon and things aren't really that bad. You know, I think one of the biggest psychological boosts that we saw for the market, you know, along with the trade talks and other things, is that jobs report that we saw on Friday, one of the best we've seen in a long time. And so when you see a number like that, it doesn't really gel with the type of economic doom and gloom that the price of oil has been pricing in. So you add to that the fact that we might get a deal with China. We're seeing substantial cuts in production coming out of OPEC right now. And if the demand isn't as terrible, all of a sudden you go from a fear of an oversupply to an undersupply very quickly.
Well, what about U.S. production? Because, you know, there has been some talk about actually a shale oil slowdown here in the United States. Is that something that's playing into to market psychology right now?
I think it is. I mean, we saw on Friday the rig counts fell by 8, and really the drillers haven't been adding rigs over the past couple of weeks. So we're seeing a substantial pullback. We saw a report from the Texas Railroad Commission that suggested that we're seeing a substantial pullback in energy investment in the shale patch. And this kind of offsets this philosophy in the marketplace that shale oil was just going to keep raising production no matter what happened to the prices. That's not true. They're very sensitive to price movements, especially this big sell-off. So we will probably see those gains moderate in the few months.
Interesting. Real quick, if there is no decision between the U.S. and China, if this continues to go on, there's concerns about the U.S. economy. Of course, the Fed's a part of all of this. If we do see more of a slowdown in the U.S. economy and the Chinese economy, how low do you think oil could actually bottom out? What would be like your bottom of the barrel price on the crude contract?
You know, so far $44 a barrel has been an area that's held. You know, but if we do get into a recession, you know, we could see oil get back into the 30s. I don't see that happening. I think we'll see 50 before we ever see 40 again.
Yeah, the one. Did you like my bottom of the barrel joke? I'm trying. It's
I like
Monday.
that. That was a good one. I'm telling you. I feel like the bottom of the barrel after that Bears game last night. Oh my gosh!
Sorry about that.
I'm in a lot of pain here.
I'm sure.
That was the bear.
I know that was a tough field goal. Flynn, thank you very much. We're going to talk about that, I'm sure, coming up in sports. Thank you, Phil.